Okay, so we're going to take a look today at Tomb of the Werewolf, aka The Unliving, a Paul Naschy werewolf film that was made by Fred Olen Ray in 2004. So, the great B-movie director Fred Olen Ray of Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers and Biohazard and, everything. And and he was able to get by a set of circumstances Paul Naschy, because Paul Naschy was going to be in town doing a film. So he was like, well, why don't we go ahead and do a werewolf film, do a Paul Naschy, Valdemar Daninsky real vampire movie. And I mean, the prospect of this was, I mean, incredible. I mean, reading about this when I was younger, and then actually seeing it on the shelves at Blockbuster, because this was a direct-to-video film shot on video and really designed for the home video market. I think designed by, I mean, I think they basically had the film sold before it even came out. I mean, it was basically sold to, for rent at Blockbuster. That was a film designed for that. It was a rental property. Uh, the results, are okay. They're kind of neither fish nor foul. The film has a lot of softcore sex in it. These really, really, really extended sex scenes, and not enough vamping. Not enough werewolfing out. Not enough of the werewolf. It's really cool to see Paul Naschy in an English film, speaking English, and you've got the Fred Olen Ray regulars, Jay Richardson, Michelle Bauer. Oh my God, Michelle Bauer. Primarily those two, and a lot of young actors, shot by Gary Graver, the great cinematographer Gary Graver, who had worked with Fred Olen Ray for, my God, how many years, and then before that worked with Orson Welles. So the film has a certain kind of pedigree, but yeah, neither fish nor fowl. I find myself really, like, when I watch it, fast forwarding through it a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the opening scene with Bathory and the torture, that was like, whoa, that was cool. And I mean, the plot of the film is pretty. I mean, the film takes place at this castle where a reality TV crew is, trying to find some hidden stuff, and they come across, and it's Daninsky Castle, and then Valdemar Daninsky starts showing up, and he turns out that one of the girls on the crew is like the reincarnated, his lost love, and so it's that, star-crossed lovers, reincarnated lovers bullshit. I always hate those types of plots. I hate them in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and but yeah, I guess that's kind of the plot. I don't know. I just. So I've watched this film a couple times, and I kind of watch it on fast forward, or I watch it with the Fred Olen Ray commentary track. In fact, one day I need to kind of just sit down and really give it a good watch, and just make sure if I really, just without the commentary track. Fred Olen Ray commentary tracks are so enjoyable that I'll sit down and watch Scalps or The Alien Dead. I've watched those films like maybe 7 or 8 times. I haven't watched the movie. I listened to the commentary tracks, because the behind the scenes stories are so interesting and involving with these films. And Fred is such a raconteur that it's worth the relatively low price of admission of buying, whatever, $10 DVD, $15. It's nothing for these great stories. Uh, So, and this film was made for a certain market. It was made, okay. People don't like classic werewolf movies. They don't understand Paul Naschy, so we got to have sex. We got to have this. We got to have blah blah blah. So, I think Fred Olen Ray's hands were kind of tied as far as what type of a movie he could make and sell. You know, this was a film sold for a specific purpose. This was kind of like a blockbuster skinemax type of property, but not too much, because the version that was released in Blockbuster was edited, was cut. Because so we have these softcore scenes that just kind of fade to black and then come back up. It's ridiculous. They did release it finally, I think very recently, as a few years ago, or maybe a couple of years ago, or a year. Very, very recently, the Unliving came out. It was originally called Tomb of the Werewolf, but Fred Olen Ray has released under his own video label the film as The Unliving, with a lot of special features. It's got a big, long documentary on the making of the film, lots of behind-the-scenes footage, great, great stuff, and a commentary track by Fred Olen Ray, and I believe Dave Ducote is in the commentary track as well. Dual commentary track. Oh my God, it is great. It is incredible, and I think it's only like maybe $10 or $12. It's worth it. Oh my God, Fred Olen Ray commentary track is like gold. I mean, if you're into this shit, you got it. You know it. You know what's going on. You know what's happening. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I gotta go back and kind of rewatch it. And I mean, it's also a very early high definition film. It was shot on high definition video very, very early on, and it kind of is what it is. It's an artifact of that kind of Skinemax, somewhere between the Skinemax, the end of the '90s, that type of film, and then the present day. But it stands up again it's a landmark. It's a Paul Naschy werewolf film, American film. I think one of the few, maybe the only American werewolf film, and the werewolf makeup in the film is good. That's the one thing that really I think a lot of time and attention was paid to. It is not crappy werewolf makeup. It's probably some of the best werewolf makeup that Naschy ever wore. And the stills of him in the makeup are just, whoa, they're incredible. He looks great. He doesn't look like he's aged a day since like the 60s and the 70s. But I mean, of course he's under tons of makeup. But under that makeup, it's just like, oh, that's Paul Naschy. Incredible. A mixed bag. A softcore TNA film that's kind of masquerading more as a horror film, uh, which probably should have been the reverse. Should have been, more of a gothic horror with just some nice bits. But neither fish nor fowl. Probably won't satisfy either of the groups. But an interesting curio. And if you're a fan of Fred Olen Ray, I think you should. You're obligated to check it out because it's cool, especially the new uncut edition. And I think I'm going to rewatch it without the commentary and give it a good once over, and see if I still dislike it or not. Hide the remote so I can't fast forward.